the show. Wait, Leslie Rob said what? What? Leslie Rob said what? What she said? What? Leslie Rob said what?
Well, hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Leslie Said What? Okay, guys, thank you all for being here. We truly appreciate it. Can't do it without you. But since you're here, say hello in the comments so we can recognize who's here. And also feel free to jump into the conversation via the comments, ask questions, whatever works for you. We want to hear from you. All right, so if you're like, girl, what you talking about? All right, so our series Teachers and Testimonies continues tonight with Miss Menya Jefferson. Her students call her Miss J, and she's going to share her story, her interactions in the classroom, her experience, and her journey to teaching, to Christianity, and how she manages both. So definitely hop in the comments, say hello, ask questions, and engage. All right, guys, without further ado, we're going to bring her on, Miss Menya Jefferson. Hey, Miss J.
Hey.
How are you, Miss J?
I am trying. I'm just trying at this point.
I hear you. We all just trying to make it. Now, are you guys on winter break yet?
Yes. We started at 12 o'clock today, and it was like, yes.
Yeah. So you guys had a half day today?
Hallelujah. Yes, we did. Yes.
Oh,
it was glorious.
That's what's up. Okay, so that's absolutely amazing because I'm telling you, like, I was shocked at the amount of teachers that still have to go through Friday. Like, I'm like, thank God that is not my school district because that can't be a thing. Huh?
When did y'all get out?
We got out yesterday was our last day, and we did a half day for the kids, but not for the teachers. You know, they had to end with a little faculty meeting.
Oh, yeah. Was there eggnog involved?
Exactly. So, you know, I'm excited and thinking, hey, we about to get out of here. Yeah, no, we had a faculty meeting. Nessia says, hey, ladies. Hey, Nessia.
Hey.
Okay, so Menya, so tell me, how's the school year been going?
So the school year has been going well. I've finally got the kiddos where I want them because I'm a French teacher. And so I finally got them at a point where I'm like, oh, okay, they can function kind of on their own. So yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good. Yes. And so do you have a supportive admin? Do you have teacher besties? How's all that going?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So admin is fantastic.
Awesome.
My teacher bestie.
And rare.
Okay. Can we get that? And my teacher bestie left last year.
Oh no, that is the worst. Oh my gosh. Any hopes on the horizons for a new one?
No. Oh. But no, but it's okay because see, I went to because the ladies in my department are fantastic, you know, but you know, they're all married and like, you know.
Yeah, it's a different vibe.
So it's very different. But I did go with, I know, right? But I did go with two of them to the Mark Anthony concert here last month, and it was on point.
Okay, that's awesome. Yes, when teachers can get together outside of school and have fun, that's what's up.
True.
Yes. Okay, well, that's awesome. Okay. All right, so you said you teach French. Now, what grade do you teach?
Oh, God bless. I teach because I love them, but they're big, overgrown kindergartners. So I teach high school.
Oh, you're in the high school realm like me. I hear you.
They just big, overgrown kindergartners. That's all it is. Miss Jefferson, he touched me. Miss Jefferson, she bothered me. Would you stop?
Exactly. You gotta love the high schoolers. And I love how you said that they're big kindergartners. That's funny. Now they would beg to differ, but we say otherwise.
Exactly.
Now, what brought you to teaching?
Oh my goodness. I was one of these people, like when I was younger,
Mhm.
I would put my baby dolls like up against the bed, and I would come home after school and I would teach class to my Barbie dolls, my
Oh,
Cabbage
that's
Patch Kids.
awesome.
I would give tests. I would grade the test. My I even gave my baby brother a test. He failed it. I should have known something then, but I didn't, you know. And so and so that was I did that for several years. And then when I got into high school, I was like, I'm not gonna be a teacher. They don't make no money. I'm gonna be a nuclear physicist like Homer Simpson. Don't ask me why I thought Homer Simpson was a nuclear physicist. And oh no, nuclear engineer. And why I thought that was gonna be good.
Oh my
Needless
God.
and then needless to say, next thing I know, voila, I'm a teacher.
Oh my gosh. Now, did you end up pursuing anything with the nuclear engineering?
Okay, see, what they didn't tell me in high school was that I had to take science classes, and I don't do science. Me and science don't get along. No, we are
I
not
feel you.
besties. And so I
Oh,
was
I
like,
feel
oh,
you.
guess I'm not gonna do that. And then,
Yes.
that
See,
was
and I was one of those people. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a pediatrician. I'm gonna be a doctor. Girl, found out I had to do a whole lot of math and science, and I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
But hold up, you teach high school, so technically you still a pediatrician because they be coming to you, be like, Miss Rob, I got a cut right here. Can you help? And it's like, because so I know you be doing the pediatrician thing because I do it.
True. Yeah, true. Because they want to go to the nurse for everything.
And so I
Everything.
have a small first aid kit in my classroom, and they're like, Miss J, can I go to the nope? Miss J, I got a nope. And I'm like, unless I see a bone sticking out, come over
Legit.
here. I'm gonna fix it.
Legit. I love it. I love it. You said, can I? Nope.
Exactly.
You like, you cut them off at the pass. Like, nope. Nope.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. Okay, so what you guys may not know is that Miss J, in addition to teaching in America, has been teaching abroad internationally for 17 years. She taught internationally. So what countries have you taught in? You got to tell us.
Okay, so my first step was actually in Russia for 2 years, back in the early 2000s. Yeah, so I was there for 2 years. I was teaching English
2
as a
years in
foreign
Russia.
language. And then I came back to Mississippi, back to the SIP, the 228. And I taught French at a public high school for 3 years. And then I moved after that, 2005. God was like, you going to Korea. And I'm like, I'm not going to Korea unless that's in Brazil. And he said, no, Korea. And I was like, ain't no Black people in Korea. And he was like,
for real?
Yes, for your I didn't know. Don't ask me why I said that. I don't know why I said that.
No, but I'm the same way. I do the same thing. I'm serious.
So, yeah,
whenever I would travel internationally, I'd be like, is any Black people there? That was just me.
Because you know what happened? As soon as we touched down, all of a sudden people start looking at you and you're like, why is it, where everybody looking at? They must like my sweater.
Especially in Korea.
Like, oh my gosh. See, and I didn't recognize it. I was like, but it was people that were with me. They were like, Menya, them people looking at you. And I'm like, who looking at me? What? I don't see nothing. Because, it never occurred to me that I was Black. Because in Mississippi, Black folks is everywhere. Okay.
Right. Like, legit. Yeah. And so, like, no, I totally get what you're saying. Because I know that, like, when I was in Kuwait teaching there, a lot of times I got stared at. And one lady asked me what part of Africa I was from. And, I know it's just her ignorance, but she was just like, what part of Africa are you from? And then when I started talking and saying I was from the States, she was like, she heard my accent and she goes, American. I'm like, yeah, I'm American. So you were in Korea from 2005 till
2019.
Oh, so the majority of your time teaching overseas was in Korea, and only 2 years in Russia.
Yeah,
that's
like
crazy.
I'm basically half Asian. Like you can't see it, but like if you get me near a bowl of noodles and kimchi,
that's so cool.
Game over.
So you were in Korea for like a majority of your international career. Oh my gosh. Okay, and what part of Korea? Is it just one part that you were in?
Yes, yes, hallelujah. I was just in Seoul, so I was in the capital, hallelujah, with
Nice.
civilization. And yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what's up. And they say Seoul nightlife is what's up.
Oh, it
So I know
was.
that had
Oh,
to
it
be
was.
fun. It's like New
Tons of
York,
fun.
huh?
Oh my gosh, yes. 100%.
Oh, that's so
100%.
cool. So you have a
Yes.
question. Nestia asks, "How was it being an African American teacher in an in international places?"
Yeah. I think the main thing is you did get stared at a lot. Like in Russia,
Yeah.
people would be like, they would come up to me and they, take the little camera out and they'd be like, and I'm like, oh, you want me to take a picture of you? Yes. And I go to take the camera and they're like, no, I need a picture with you. So I'm like posted up on people's fireplace mantles going like, just, but, and I would have,
It's a
like,
rare appearance. A rare appearance.
it is. And, you get stared at a lot. But the thing is, it's like, if you're not comfortable with yourself, then yeah, it can mess you up. But
Yeah.
most of the time, like, I mean, I just did my job. I went to school, taught my kids. I think the thing though was because I was a Black woman, a lot of the students, it was the students in the international schools that really, they gravitate towards the Black teachers,
Oh, that's
because they're like,
cool.
we like the way they talk. And I'm like, what the freak? Like,
You're like, what do you mean? How I talk?
okay.
That is
But
so
they did.
funny.
They found us. They found us to be more animated, and
Oh,
so like
that
my
makes sense.
always, yeah, they were always
Mhm.
kids in my room, and just like, and they're like, we love Miss Jefferson. Even kids that didn't even have me, they're like, I
Yeah.
love Miss Jefferson. I'm like, who are you? Who? What?
Have we met? The
Okay.
second part to her question was, were there any challenges?
Yeah, for sure. Because certain places, like when I lived in Russia for 2 years, there are skinhead groups that exist. You may not know about them because, well, you don't want stuff like that getting out about your country. But
Right.
living there for 2 years, there were uh, several times that I'd be walking down the street and then I would see a group of guys and I would cross to the other side because I didn't feel safe. So there are
Yeah.
certain countries that, yes, being a Black person can be dangerous. There were 2 days, yes, skinheads. There were 2 days during the year where I had to call in to my job and say, hey, I'm not coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of my people that I worked with were all like white.
Yeah.
And so even though I spoke a little bit of Russian, you know what I mean? It was still, there was Hitler's birthday, April 20th, where
Mm.
stuff would, happen. So the day before, the day after, and this was one of my kids actually that I was teaching warned me about it. They're like,
Oh,
Miss
wow.
Menya, don't go. Yes. So had it not been for them, God knows what I would have walked into. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, for
and so
sure.
yeah, and my company was really nice about it. They weren't like, well, whatever, you still need to teach. Like they were very sensitive about it. And I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it was during those
Yeah.
2 years. It was super, super tricky.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet. And for those of you guys who don't know, I can piggyback off of what Menya is sharing. So I taught also internationally. I taught in Kuwait, and the stares that you're talking about in Korea was very similar to the stares I would get in Kuwait, and then the people that want to take pictures because, are you rap star? No, I'm not rap star. I don't know nothing about no rap. I actually prefer Jason Aldean over Jason Derulo. So yeah, no. So I was like,
Is
yeah,
you
no,
is
no
you
rap
Nicki
star.
Minaj? Are you Nicki
Exactly.
Minaj?
You
What
know
I look
Nicki
like?
Minaj? No, no, boo. Mm-mm. So, and when I was teaching internationally, I was like in Kuwait and stuff like that. Yeah, you get the stares, but I was very comfortable. Living and working abroad, I noticed that also, like what you were saying, in Europe is where I experienced the most racism, and that was actually in Prague.
Really?
Uh, yeah, in
Oh,
Prague. I went to the grocery store and one of the ladies threw my groceries at me and would refuse to talk to me and was like, absolutely not, type of thing. And then I asked
Oh
the
my
guy who,
gosh.
yeah, I asked the guy that me and my husband were doing our Airbnb with, I asked him, like, exactly like, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I forgot to warn you about that. He's like, yeah, just keep your head down. You'll be fine. And so every time we walked, we just keep our head down. We would mind our own business. But, it was just very scary for the next few days to make sure we stayed within those guidelines. You know what I mean? Like, just stay to yourself, mind your business. You'll be okay. So I get it. Like the kind of on edge thing, in Europe. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Because
Yeah.
I went to Prague and I was like, there's something about this place I just don't like. And everybody's
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful and so romantic. I'm like, no, that's France. Okay. It is not
That's France.
Prague.
Yeah. France was great. Yeah. I definitely didn't know that racism existed, believe it or not, outside of
Oh
our
my God.
normal context until I went to Prague.
Mm,
So that was kind of crazy.
wow.
So we have another question. Someone is asking, were there other African American teachers and did you always know that you would teach internationally? How did you know of this calling?
So at my school, let's see, the first school I was at in Korea, well, there was school in Russia, there were no blacks at all. And then the first school I was at in Korea, there was one black lady. She was helping
Mhm.
in the library, super sweet lady. But after that, no. And then my second school in Korea, there was another black American, and then there were two black British women. And that was pretty much it. Like it was slim
Yeah.
pickings, because it's sad that like we as a culture, I think we don't well, first of all, we don't value going into teaching,
Yeah. Number
and then
one.
much less, okay, and then much less moving abroad because, that's not something that we would do culturally
Exactly.
speaking. And it's
Right.
like, but no, it's like, hey, that was legit the only job that like that had responded to me. So like, so
Yeah. Kuwait was the only
I
one that responded
applied
to me.
exactly. Like I had applied to 7 or 8 different jobs. And like I had a master's in French. So like your girl knew her français. And so then
Yeah.
all of these jobs, none of them responded. And I'm like, hold up, I
Yeah.
know I could teach elementary French in Pennsylvania. Come
Yeah.
at me. Come at me.
Yeah.
But no, it was just God didn't want me there. He wanted me to go to Korea so that he could, chip away at some things. And so yeah,
Yes.
so I knew when they were the only school that responded. Like
Yeah, you're like, I guess that's my
I
calling.
was like, okay, I'm like, crap,
Because
I'm
he
going to
opened doors
Korea.
he wants open.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, he opens doors he wants opens and closes the ones he doesn't. I remember when I was applying to go international, I applied to a whole bunch of different countries, but Kuwait was the only one that responded. So I guess okay, I'm going to Kuwait. And then when I was going to Kuwait, they had a bombing there right before we were supposed to go. But I still had the peace of God because hey, I still had peace. So I knew I was supposed to be there. So I just went with what the Lord said and I went. And because hey, that peace that surpasses all understanding. It didn't make sense to other
Okay.
people, but it made sense to God. So I was on my way
Yeah.
there. Which brings us to a good question is
Uh,
teaching is a mission field. And we know that. Like we have to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So how do you see yourself doing that each day?
so I think the main thing for me is that, and one of my a kid mentioned that today actually. They said Miss Jefferson is always there. So like
Mm,
if we have a basketball game, if we have a baseball game, if we like she's yelling at the refs, like she is there. If we have a dance concert, if we have a play, if we have a, like so being there is one way
mhm.
that I see myself, being the hands and feet of Jesus, because after a hard loss, like the kids, they want to not just their parents, because the parents, that's their job, to be like, you did
Yeah.
good, sweetie. But like for a teacher to have given up their afternoon or their evening to watch the whole game and then to come up and say, good job, or watch the whole concert and say, oh, you dance beautifully, like that right there. Kids like, forget you, mom, dad. Miss Jefferson said I did good.
Miss J came.
Miss J came. And then also just noticing little things, it's like, oh girl, hey, I like what you did with your hair. Or either, a guy and like, boo, I see them new shoes. Okay, we see you. Or, if it's a kid that after, and then, and it's also the hard conversations, like when you see a kid that, is just acting, just got some anger issues, and I call them and I say, hey, I'm gonna need you to stay after class. And then I say, tell me what's going on. Nothing. I'm like, lies. Yeah. I said, well, you're going to stand here and you're going to tell me, and we're going to stand here together until you tell me what's going on. But for them to see that you are invested, and then, so it's the little things. It's not the big thing. It's the little things. It really is.
And I love how you said that. It's that relationship and that rapport that we build with the kids that makes a huge difference. Even in the comments, Nessie is saying, yes, kids love to see you show up for them. Love that. It's so true.
And you'd be surprised how many, from teaching, like, how many teachers that 3:30, they're like,
look, I'm out.
I'm gone.
And don't ask me nothing.
And they don't. I know. I'm like, but you're a teacher. Like, you have to understand, teaching is not just putting up a slideshow and lecturing. Like, teaching is making sure that you are the psychiatrist. So when that boy is having problems with his girlfriend, you can interpret and be like, boo-boo. She didn't say that. No, that's not what she said. What she meant was this. You have to be the psychiatrist. You have to be the mom, and you have to be the big sister, big auntie, and be like, boo-boo, that boy that you're interested in, okay, you can be interested in him, but make sure that your boundaries are set.
Legit.
Okay, because and you'd be like, boo-boo, I'm gonna need you to pull that skirt down, because I'm seeing the cow jumping over the moon, and like I can't see that. I can't see that.
Leave a little mystery, honey. A little mystery.
Okay.
They are equipped. And the thing is the kids that you just said that you show up for at their games, and the kids that you have a relationship with and you built that rapport with, when you're asking them, hey, let's adjust the skirt length, or hey, listen, that guy you're trying to talk to, not the best idea. That's when they're willing to listen and to hear you, because you've established a relationship and a rapport with them. If you have not established a relationship and a rapport with them, all they're going to do is take you as another adult trying to tell them something that they don't want to hear.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. It is. Now, do you have any students? Yeah. So like, how long have you been teaching?
This is my 16th year.
So like, you have kids now that are like adults, and that are
grown with kids, and it's weird, and it's, oh my gosh. I have kids in their 30s that I taught. It's so weird.
Exactly. But like, do you see that they, still keep in touch with you and stuff like that after
God, yeah. I met two of my girls from like 13 years ago that I taught 13 years ago. I met them for lunch not too long ago. Like, they're just like, Miss Rob, like I'll always be Miss Rob to them,
I know, right?
Weird. A kid in their 30s is telling me like, hey, Miss Rob. I'm like, honey, you can call me Leslie. They're like, never.
I know, right? I know. I can't even call my teachers, because there's still some teachers that I keep in touch with, and they're like, no, my name is Brigitte. My name is Brenda. I'm like, okay, Miss Brenda. Miss Brigitte, like I still, and I'm 48. Okay, I'm 48, and I'm still like having to, say that.
Oh,
kind of
I
stuff.
hear you. I hear you. It's just, it's so funny when they call, like, literally this great big old grown person calling me Miss Rob. I'm like, boo, you can say Leslie, but they're like, no, I can't.
They can't.
Oh my gosh. So how
and
about
they
this?
be waiting for that day.
Say it again.
I said they'd be waiting for that day, senior, graduation. They're like, I can call you Menya now, and I'm like, do it and see what happens.
It's not the recent graduating class that you like look call me Menya. No, it's the ones that's I'm gonna need you to have a little experience under your belt, like get a few years down the road. And that's when
Okay.
they're like, I can't because they know to be respectful.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it. Okay, so can you tell us, like literally, in all the years you've been teaching, okay? Can you excuse me, tell us something a funny story that has happened that you just cannot bring yourself to forget because it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. The list is just like it's ridiculous, the list. But
Oh,
I
you
would
know.
say the the funniest thing that has ever happened in any one of my classes. I went out to make copies, and this was in Mississippi. I went
Uh-huh.
out to make copies, and I came back into my classroom, and this one child was taped onto the wall. They had duct taped the child onto the wall. I said, excuse me,
No.
can I possibly ask what we were trying to do? And they're like, oh yeah, we were practicing for Easter for the crucifixion. I said, so they had him. He was legit because he was a tiny kid. And so he
Oh
volunteered to
my
be.
gosh.
And I was like, oh Lord Jesus, oh help me Jesus. And so it was just like legit. I said, I'm gonna need y'all to bring him down. I'm gonna need you to bring Jesus down off the cross because just bring
That
Jesus down.
is hilarious.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my
And then
gosh.
how many times have kids been put out of my class? And I'll say, because if you disrupting the dictator while the dictator is dictatoring, I'm gonna put you out. And I will
Legit.
tell you, I will say, I don't want to see your face for the next 7 minutes. And
Uh-huh.
so one of my kids got put out and he was just chilling outside. And the principal happened to come by and said, why are you outside? And he said, Miss Jefferson said she didn't want to see my face for 7 minutes. And so I was like, that's right.
Yeah, you like
So
it.
the
I said
principal
it.
was
I
like,
own it.
okay,
Oh,
every single bit. But then, it's like the principals know that when I come in and I establish my dictatorship, they know. They're like, okay, she's
you
legit,
like, look, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay.
Now, Nessia in the comments says she has one more question, and she said, "LOL, I promise." What's her self-care look like? Teaching students can be stressful. What's your way to decompress from it? So, how do you
Oh my
decompress
goodness.
and practice self-care as a teacher?
Well, when I was overseas, I
Uh-huh.
really, in Seoul, there were a lot of different options for non-Korean speakers. I speak a little bit of Korean, but like it wasn't good enough to but I ended up taking tango classes, and that was a great way to oh my gosh, I love tango. And then,
Yeah.
yes, okay, I'll have to explain that one day where there's like parallels between the Christian life and tango dancing. Promise to God,
Okay.
I'm not lying. It's legit.
Ministry.
Okay. And then, but now that I'm here, because I'm in South Florida now, not in the States anymore. So in Singapore, I did Tahitian dance. So dance has always been like my way to decompress.
Uh-huh.
And then, but here in South Florida, I actually got into kickboxing.
Look at you taking it up a notch.
You
Legit.
know? And it's like a full body workout. In an hour, I can easily burn 600 calories easily.
Nice. Taking
Okay,
it
for an
up, girl.
hour's worth of work.
That is
So
awesome.
okay, it's good because you just punch in a bag. My kids trying to make fun of me for it. I'm like, I'm gonna bring them one day to class and let them see
Uh-huh.
how easy it is. It's like,
Yeah, you're like, let's show you.
exactly.
Yes. So if you guys missed that, Menya is actually teaching in the States now. How long have you been back in the States teaching from Korea?
Oh, see, after Korea, I went to Singapore for 3 years. And then
Oh,
I
okay.
got stuck there during the pandemic. Yeah, got stuck there in the pandemic.
Oh my gosh. And Singapore during the pandemic was no joke. I have friends who were teaching there and it's been, oh my gosh, that was no joke. They were more
I
strict than any place I've ever seen in my life. Oh my
I
gosh.
I will plead the fifth. And
Yes. So when did you come back to the States? This year? Is this your first year back in the States?
No. No, it's my second. So I came back in July of 2022.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
even know you were back stateside. When you had agreed to come on, I didn't even know you were back stateside. I was like, this should be interesting because I'm not sure what part of the world Menya is working in right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she's gonna be able
Yeah.
to time this perfectly.
Yeah,
So wow.
no, I am in South Florida.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, we're glad to have you back in the States, girl.
Oh,
Oh my
yay. So
gosh.
are my parents.
Oh, I bet. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So if you guys have enjoyed this conversation, definitely share, and let your friends know that tomorrow it'll be available. Well, actually tonight it'll be available on lesliesaidwhat.com to rewatch it. But if they are a podcast listener, it'll be available on all major podcast networks starting tomorrow. So definitely tell them that to go back and to listen. Menya, thank you so much for taking time to be here. Nessia says she has one more question. Does she plan to go to international again? Yeah, my last question was apparently not my last question.
Okay, I don't know who Nancy is, but she is killing the
Nessia
game
is
and
my
I
college roommate.
appreciate her.
She
Oh
was
my
my
gosh.
college
Okay.
roommate, and she has co-hosted
Okay.
with me before, and she don't know it, but I'm gonna
No.
ask her to co-host with me again. So, Nessia, be
Nice.
on the lookout for that
No.
question.
And yes, so my answer is definitely yes. Me plans to go back. And because it's like not that the US is really small, but I've seen too much. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to go, and there's too much food for me to eat. There's too many clothes for me to buy, too many costumes, dances for me to learn. I got to go.
Yeah, man,
I
yeah,
got to
I'm with
go.
you. Like, I seriously am contemplating going back next year. Would you go next year or would it be in the future?
Oh no. Because I'm 48. So like there's a cutoff for teaching overseas, and I don't want to get past that age limit. So,
Oh,
and plus
okay.
I'm single. I'm like, I could just pick up and go. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I'm thinking about
yeah.
applying for next year to go back overseas. So yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm
Yay. Do you have an
excited.
area?
So I don't know,
Uh,
like, I'm partial to Kuwait because that's where I've been, and my teaching license is so limited because it's early childhood stuff as well as,
mm,
and high school home ec, which most places don't offer. So, most of the time, I usually apply to early childhood positions or
nice.
learning support. So, I
Okay.
mean, which kinda opens it up a little bit more, but yeah, I don't know. Kuwait has always been part of my heart because that's where I started, but you
Yeah.
never know. You never know.
Yes,
So
exactly.
Nestia said, "Great show, ladies. Thank you, Nestia," and that she enjoyed it.
Yay, Nessia.
Oh my gosh, Menya, thank you again for taking time to be here. This has been really good. It always surprises me, like how the shows shift because, like, we'll start off talking about one thing and then it shifts into another, which I love because then that's when the juicy stuff comes out and the more
Oh,
interesting topics. So I was really
yeah.
glad that we could share that. Like, I didn't even think to talk about like being an African American teacher and teaching internationally. Like, so that was awesome.
Me.
Yeah, I didn't even think we are going to go there, but apparently we did. And it was great.
Oh, yes.
So thank you so much again, Menya. And I hope that you have a great rest of your night. I'm going to pull you
You too.
backstage. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Miss Menya Jefferson, aka Miss J. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. That conversation was so rich and full of good information. I was totally pleased and totally shocked because, like I was telling Menya, I didn't even think to bring up the fact of us being African American and teachers teaching internationally. So thank you guys for bringing up that conversation. So it was really good. So definitely, like I said before, tune in to any major podcast network tomorrow, and it will be live for you to listen to and to share. Feel free to go and rewatch it at lesliesaidwhat.com. But most importantly, guys, thank you all for being here. Leslie Said What, Season 4, Episode 8 is out.
Leslie Rob Comedy.